this is what athletes think behind closed doors on Noah Lyles saying he was offended, he wasn't invited to an event, or he was invited to an event that Ant was invited to. What?
Athletes are the biggest haters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just kind of that simple. Now, especially wide receivers. Like, that's all they be, I mean, come on. Like, they be
hating on each other.
They be hating on each other. They be hating on other receivers. Like, you got to, like, come on, be for real. Like, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than that guy. I'm better than, like, bro, be for real. You're not. Like, I don't know how else to tell you this. You are not better than him. Like, you're just not. You know, like, literally, you were just literally not. A wide receiver sees another dude get paid. A lot.
In the most anticipated finals at the Stade de France, Noah Lyles stunned the world with a phenomenal photo finish win in the 100M finals. But while the sprinter can run at an impressive speed, he still can't seem to escape the drama surrounding him. His bold comment, "World champions of what? The United States?" caused a massive frenzy on social media. Not only did the 27-year-old get egged on for his arrogance, but Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill challenged the Olympian to a race after his stint in the French capital abruptly ended. Even though the sprinter seemed to be unbothered initially, he did take the NFL player up on the challenge. But the sprinter had Rai Benjamin and NFL legend Shannon Sharpe in his corner, rooting for him to emerge victorious. While many thought this would end the controversy, another NFL star has decided to add his 2 cents to the situation. On a September 2nd episode of the Punchline podcast with Marlon Humphrey, he stated, "Athletes are the biggest haters. It's just kind of that simple now, especially wide receivers." What could he possibly mean by that? The Baltimore Ravens cornerback continued, "They be hating on each other, they be hating on each other, they be hating on other receivers. Like, you got like, come on, be for real. Like, I'm better than that guy. Like, bro, be for real, you're not. I don't know how else to tell you this, you are not better than him." He elaborates how he believes that when a wide receiver sees another athlete get paid, they want to get their hands on it too. Humphrey pointed out, "Is that not the biggest sign of hate? Like, you just signed a deal, a 5-year deal, you're 1 year into the deal. This is what happens all the time. This did not just happen with Tyreek." However, he is then asked if the wide receiver should be paid higher. If you just line up Tyreek, he's actually literally unguardable. If he beelines diagonal, there's no one that can cover it. His comments have just reignited the controversy. While he has offered support to the sprinter, he didn't offer the same grace to another Olympian. Despite backing Noah Lyles up, Simone Biles had to face his ire, who doesn't remember the glorious moment at the women's gymnastics floor exercise finals, where Simone Biles and Jordan Chiles bowed down to Rebecca Andrade as she stepped onto the top step of the podium. Marlon Humphrey didn't think so. He voiced his opinions on X. "This is literally disgusting." But why did they do that? Not only was it the first all-black podium, but it was also to hail the Brazilian for pushing through adversity to reach this point. The GOAT clapped back, "I think it's all about sportsmanship, and we don't care whether we win or lose. We're always going to keep a good face and support our competitors because they've worked just as hard as we have for that moment." She further stated that they deserved their flowers, and the 2 American gymnasts were doing just that. So why did Humphrey extend his support to Noah Lyles? Let us know what you think.
Let's roll. Well, you claim that you're going to go out there and win 4 medals, so the goal had to be win the 100 and win the 200. So job is accomplished.
Kenny was right there down the stretch. What's going through your head as you're closing in on him in the final meters there?
Yeah, Kenny got a great start. The plan was actually to swallow him up in the first 50 meters, but he was making sure that that job wasn't accomplished. So I knew that he was definitely working on something, so I guess that was it. After we came off the turn, I was like, all right, don't panic. I've been here many times before. We're going to get to the last 80. He's going to fall, and I'm going to get faster. And that's what happened. It's definitely working. It's definitely working. I'm right where I need to be. We didn't come in here with the plan to peak for the season, but, kind of drifting into the peak. So I'd say that we still got quite a bit of practice to keep doing, keep going at it. I'm not done with the weight room at all. I'm ready to get back into the gym, in fact. Work on some kind of like just smaller weaknesses within the body, just strengthen them up before we get to the Olympics. And I got quite a few races still to go. I got at least 2 races, and we'll keep it going. Thank you.
You know, yes, there's a nice competition right next to you too in Kenny.
Not yet. No, I mean, the U.S. has been dominating. We've had 2 medalists at least at each World Championship and Olympics since 2021. So the 200, we definitely have a strong voting for sweeping again.
You've talked a lot about taking aim at what makes that such a big goal for you?
I think when everybody starts to get to the top, they start to realize, all right, what do I got to do to be considered the greatest when I leave the sport? And grabbing a world record is one of two things that I still have left to do. One being grabbing an Olympic gold, and then two, grabbing a world record. So it's on the list. It's just, as I aim for being the greatest, it's just something that I got to get, or I want to get. So I felt like the first 10 meters were pretty good. I came up real close to that 10-meter mark in the first 7 steps. As I was coming up, I felt like I was more focused on trying to get my hips underneath me, which I think is where I had kind of probably the biggest pause in momentum. Instead of saying, all right, let's just like rush the moment, it was more, let me wait, get my hips under, and then start moving. Once I got that, I was looking up and we were starting to drive down the track. I was trying to make sure that I was putting as much energy into the track as possible. I heard Christian, saw Kenny out there. I'm like, all right, I'm not worried. I've been in this position many times. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll keep running faster and faster. Going through, when we came off the 120, slingshotting off, it was like, all right, I see Kenny, I see him fatiguing. All right, let's just keep putting power into the ground, keep going. And I was like, by the time we got to the 80-meter mark, I'm all right, yeah, I got this race in the bag. Let's finish this up. Time, I'm satisfied with the time. It's right next to what I ran at World Championships last year. 19.5 is pretty much my zip code. That's where like my average is. Anytime I run 19.5, it's like saying, okay, you're in your average area. And as we're getting closer and closer to the Olympics, it's like, all right, 19.5, check. Maybe we'll see. I'm planning to go to London, planning to go to Monaco. Hopefully see maybe another 19.5 or 19.4. Be like, all right, check, we're getting faster. Each week we're getting faster and faster. That's the momentum that I want to see as we get closer to the Olympics. I say that the 200 is always like the easier of the two. Not saying that they're easy per se, but for sure that's the one that I have my heart set on the most. And it's the one where I think everybody's being like, oh, you're at the American record, you're the third fastest. Like that's probably where you're gonna see you can add a little bit more improvement and get a better result. But as you see today, it's not always dependent on if you're in shape or not. It's the day, the competition, the wind, it's everything. I definitely thrive off pressure. I thrive off big moments. The bigger the moment, the faster I run. And there's no moment where I think I'm gonna go into that I'm not made for.
Do you think?
We'll get to you next. As I've kind of come to the 200, it's like harder and harder for me to celebrate because I've kind of gotten to the streak of winning it so many times. That doesn't mean I'm not trying to take it for granted because it's my favorite race by far. But as the times get faster and faster and I'm starting to see 19.5, sometimes I could even say I take 19.5 for granted as well. So sometimes it's just like harder for me to get in that zone of celebratory as soon as I win. All right, great, I got the job done. Great, I proved to myself that I'm fast. I'm excited for it. Let's keep going, let's keep pressing. This isn't the time to say, oh, this is the momentous occasion of a great day. Good, you got the job done, let's keep it moving. I think I've kind of always had it when it came to track. It took a while before I gained it in real life, but definitely with track, it was something that kind of came natural, and it was something that made the event fun. I felt that, what's winning without a crowd? What's winning without competition? What's winning without the hardship? If it's easy to win, why do it? If anybody can do it, why do it? It's the hard things that I want to go after.
Would you prefer Doha 2019 when you're a little behind coming off the curve, or?
I don't know. I just like them all. I like the wins. I mean, I like the London in 19.4. Of course, I love the Eugene, Oregon American record. I wasn't the biggest fan of Doha, but I definitely liked today's meet. It showed me that people were willing to get up. Sometimes you feel that you'll walk into a room and people are just scared to get up for it when it comes to the 200. And seeing Kenny, seeing Christian, seeing Ariane, all being like, even seeing Kyrie, it's like, I love this. People said, no, I'm not gonna back down because he's fast. I'm gonna get up because he's fast. That's the energy I love to see, and those are the races that I want to keep having.
Theme of anime, she's talking about Naruto, and she wanted to talk to you about it. Seems to be a theme with a lot of Olympians loving anime. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's just kind of our generation. We grew up during the tsunami era when anime was becoming big in America, and now we're all adults or young adults. So we have had our time to shine, and now you're seeing a lot of us become athletes, and some of us become movie stars, and so on and so forth. So now it's not as taboo to talk about it, and we're very open with how we like it and how we resonate with it, and we want to bring it to things that we do.
No, where are you at with the negotiations to run the 4x4?
I haven't started negotiations yet. Let's just say it will be hard, but I'm gonna let them know that I'm available and I'm ready to go.
Newly crowned Olympic 200 meters champion Lyles Tebogo has branded Noah Lyles as arrogant and loud after he beat the American to the gold medal in a surprise at Paris 2024. Tebogo was speaking at a post-race press conference when he was asked whether he aspired to become the face of track and field athletics. He suggested that his more laid-back demeanor means he wouldn't be able to reach Lyles' levels of fame. For me, I can't be the face of athletics because I'm not an arrogant or loud person like Noah, he said. So I believe Noah's the face of athletics, he added.
Let's see Lyles Tebogo. He just won gold in the Olympics in the 200, and in the press conference he was asked, does he aspire to be the new face of track and field? Because he did just beat the person who pretty much is the face of track and field, Noah Lyles, and he had an interesting response, and Kenny Bernard had a little laugh at it too.
I think for me, I can't be the face of athletics because I'm not an arrogant or a loud person like Noah. So I believe Noah is the face of athletics.
The comment drew a wry smile from the USA's Kenny Bednarek, who was sitting beside Tebogo after winning silver and also coming in front of Lyles. Before the race, Lyles predicted that he would take the gold and complete a double of the 100 meters and 200 meters, adding that, "When I come off the turn, they will be depressed." "I'll be winning," he later said when asked about the race. As he came out onto the track before the race, Lyles was seen jumping around and shouting as he tried to work the crowd, similarly to how he did before the 100 meters final. The American could only labor to a bronze medal in an entertaining race that saw Botswana's Tebogo take gold in 19.46 seconds, with Lyles' compatriot Bednarek running 19.62 to Lyles' 19.70. Soon after the race, Lyles was seen in a wheelchair, and U.S. Track and Field soon revealed that he had been diagnosed with COVID-19 2 days prior to the race.
Il en fait beaucoup, et c'est un coup énergétique. Voilà, c'est sort sur un fauteuil roulant, oui. Il n'y aura pas donc de zone mixte pour l'instant pour Noah Lyles. Petite défaillance.
I woke up early about 5 a.m. Tuesday morning, feeling really horrible. I knew it was more than being sore from the 100. My first thought was not to panic. I've been in worse situations. I've been in worse conditions, said Lyles when speaking to NBC. I took it day by day, tried to hydrate as much as possible. It would say it has taken its toll for sure, but I have never been more proud of myself coming out here and getting a bronze, he added. In an Instagram post made after the race, Lyles appeared to confirm that he wouldn't run in the 4x100 meters relay, stating, "I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It is not the Olympics I dreamed of, but it has left me with so much joy in my heart. I hope everyone enjoyed the show." Lyles later told reporters that he'd felt lightheaded after crossing the finish. "Shortness of breath, chest pain, but after a while I could catch my breath and get my wits about me. I'm a lot better now," he said. He said he was put on as much medication as we legally could to make sure my body could keep the momentum going. Despite his symptoms, he came out with his signature energetic showmanship after his introduction. "I already had a bunch of energy," he said. "This is by far the best day I've felt out of the last 3 days. Still not 100%, but closer to 90 to 95%. He said he never considered skipping out on the race. "We quickly quarantined in a hotel nearby the Olympic Village," he said. "I still wanted to run. It was still possible. If I didn't make it to the final, that would have been the sign not to compete." He said COVID hurt his performance, but he's happy to have done as well as he did. "I'm more proud of myself than anything, coming out here to get a bronze with COVID." He said that, going into the race, his competitors didn't know he had COVID. "We were trying to keep this close to the chest. The people who knew were the medical staff, coach, my mom. We didn't want everybody going into a panic. We wanted them to be able to compete. I'm competitive. Why would you give them an edge over you?" In response, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee and USATF swiftly enacted all necessary protocols to prioritize his health, the well-being of our team, and the safety of fellow competitors, the organization said, adding that it has been following CDC guidelines to prevent the illness's spread. Our primary commitment is to ensure the safety of Team USA athletes while upholding their right to compete. After a thorough medical evaluation, Noah chose to compete tonight. We respect his decision and will continue to monitor his condition closely. Lyles has one final event, the men's 4x100 meters relay on Friday, but said he hasn't decided yet whether he will stay in the race. I'm going to be very honest and transparent with the coaches, and I'll let them make the decision, he said. No matter what happens, this 4x100 meters team can handle everything. I've been with them in practice. I know they can come out with a win, break as many records as they put their mind to. Before the crowd of 80,000 at the Stade de France, the 27-year-old was hoping to go down in sprint double history, aiming to be just the 10th man to win the 100 and 200-meter races in a single Summer Games. Only 9 men have pulled off the sprint double this before. One of those men, Jamaican Usain Bolt, did it at 3 straight Olympics. The last time an American managed the sprint double was Carl Lewis 40 years ago in 1984. After winning his 100-meter race, Lyles posted a motivational message to his social media. I have asthma, allergies, dyslexia, ADD, anxiety, and depression, he said. But I will tell you that what you have does not define what you can become. Why not you?
We have to start in Paris. It's been another huge night on the track at the Stade de France that saw such a dramatic 200-metre final. Noah Lyles, the man that everyone tipped for gold in that 200-metre, the 100-metre champion, was by far the pre-race favourite. But just have a look at this shot here. This is Noah Lyles off the USA, finishing in third. Look at the distance between him and the actual winner from Botswana, Letseli Tebogo. Absolutely incredible race. Let's get more on this story, though, because there's some breaking news this evening that we have to get our heads around. We can go back to Paris again and speak to Miriam Walker-Khan. And Miriam, my goodness, how did this race play out? And tell us about the condition of Noah Lyles now.
Yeah, going into this race, Noah Lyles was a huge favourite after winning the 100 metres, and because of the fact that the 200 metres is his event. He did that long before he kind of transitioned to the 100 as well. He's got 3 world titles in the 200, and he was confident in that. He was hoping to become the first man since Usain Bolt to do the sprint double, and the first man in US history since Carl Lewis 40 years ago. And he literally bounced onto the track when they were announcing the runners at the start of the race. He looked fit, he looked healthy, he looked excited. We know he psychs out the other athletes a lot in races, but he looked very ready for that race. He got a good bend, but then he just didn't really transition off that bend into the home straight as well as we normally see him do. And like you said, it was Botswana's Letseli Tebogo who got that gold medal in a real shock of these games, I think. But after the race, we saw Noah Lyles being carried off in a wheelchair. He was wearing a mask as well at one point, talking to media. And USA Track and Field have confirmed that he had tested positive for COVID 2 days ago. This obviously isn't what Noah Lyles had planned. He has said so many times that he wants to emulate Usain Bolt and do that sprint double. And he's spoken so much about it in the lead up to this race as well. But he leaves Paris with 2 medals, one in the 100, that gold, and this bronze medal in the 200 metres. But there will be questions now over whether he should have run that race today, having known for 2 days that he's got COVID. People will ask that, and USA Track and Field have said it was his choice.
Yeah, I have a feeling that no one was going to be able to stop Noah Lyles from running that race. Now, Miriam, before I let you go, there's been some history in the field for Pakistan in the javelin.
Yeah, Pakistan just won their first ever Olympic gold medal. Their first medal in athletics, but a gold medal from Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem with an Olympic record of 92 metres 97, which is incredible. He wasn't the favourite going into it. We know that he's been throwing incredibly these past few years, but a truly incredible feat because Pakistan have only won now 11 medals at the Olympics ever, most of them in hockey. And I think this is just a moment as well, Jess, for the Pakistan and South Asian diaspora around the world, because a lot of the time we grow up as South Asian people being told we're too weak for sport, especially in football. We actually just released a documentary on Sky Sports News called Hidden Talent, where we spoke about the kind of stereotypes that South Asian athletes face. That is one that footballers hear a lot: you're too weak, you're too small. And I think having Arshad Nadeem, who is a Olympic champion now, throw that far in a javelin event, which is kind of the epitome of physical strength, is very, very exciting and something that Pakistanis all over the world will be very proud of.
Wow, what an achievement. Imagine trying to tell him, who's just thrown a javelin 92 metres, that he's too small and too weak. Absolutely incredible. Miriam, for your updates, as always. We'll see you tomorrow.
Fresh Noah Lyles' favoritism controversy stirs Paris Olympics as Team USA star reveals struggle with 200 meters finals. Just before the men's 200 meters final event, the temperature has increased. Kenny Bednarek has raised the issue of favoritism toward the host. As per him, the hosts gave Noah Lyles lane 5 to give him a technical advantage. However, Kenny himself received lane 9 at the cornermost position. The sprinter couldn't digest it. On X, he shared the issue. Never seen favoritism like this on a global scale. Meanwhile, things seem to be settled now as Kenny is in lane 8. Noah Lyles is still in lane 5. Does there come any technical superiority with the lane changes? As per the veteran athlete, there may come. One Olympic medalist put a seal on it. 3 years ago, in Tokyo, Andre de Grasse took the bronze medal in the 100 meters event. Eventually, he vented his emotion later, and surprisingly, it was not on pace, rather, he complained about his lane position. Just like Kenny Bednarek today, Andre has lane 9. I knew it was going to be a tough one after I drew lane 9. I didn't have a great semi-final, and I knew I had to come out and try and execute as best as I can. Here, the common idea says that from the cornermost position or the outside lane, from 7 to 9, the sprinters fail to see their competitors because of limited visibility. The situation can repeat itself in inside lanes, 1 and 2 as well. In those lanes, the pertaining reason is the tightest nature of the corners. So, the middle lanes rise to be the most effective ones to keep an eye on the opponents on both sides. Right now, Noah Lyles is in the middle lane, and with him, another American sprinter, Eryan Knighton, will show up in another middle lane, lane 6. Ultimately, the much-cherished 200 meters fight is expected to be limited between these two sprinters. Their performances throughout the years speak on behalf of that. Moreover, their best performances in the 200 meters event stand to be side by side, taller than the others in the pack. Apart from that, the newly enacted rules regarding lane placement prioritize the ranks of the sprinters strictly to settle at the lanes. From that perspective, the lanes for Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek, and Eryan Knighton may raise some uncomfortable questions. In the semi-final round, Letseli Tebogo was the topper, while Kenny Bednarek followed him. Noah comes later in the 3rd position, so, from that perspective, Kenny's positioning in lane 9 was problematic. He should have been placed in any of the lanes, 5 to 7, leaving a lane for Lyles. Yet the reality is different. Would this mistreatment boost Kenny Bednarek to go against Noah Lyles, all guns blazing?
Noah Lyles, what's the biggest difference between Noah in Tokyo and Noah in Paris?
I'd say it's definitely the joy I have in my heart. It's a lot stronger. It's not depressed, and it's ready to go. It's ready to enjoy time and energy and be in the moment here.
You're bringing us joy. How much are you enjoying that rivalry with Jamaica?
Hey, I'm here for anybody who wants to take the crown. Now that's what I'm all about, competitors and competing at the highest level.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Noah Lyles' controversial 100 meters gold medal race at the 2024 Paris Olympics came down to a photo finish, with Lyles narrowly edging out Jamaica's Kashane Thompson by a mere 0.005 seconds. The slow-motion replay showed Lyles' torso crossing the finish line just ahead of Thompson's, securing the American sprinter his first Olympic 100 meters title. While some argued the margin was too close to call, the rules clearly state that the torso, not the head or limbs, determines the winner in a photo finish.
Usain Bolt said that he knows what you need to do to break the world record, and he's not going to say it. I'm sure you saw that. Did you and your coach look at that, or you already know what you need to do yourself?
I'm gonna do what I'm doing. If he knows and he's not gonna share it, why would I listen?
And Kenneth's world lead last week, he says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, what?
Kenneth's world lead in this 100 last week. He says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks till you go on the track.
Until New York. New York Grand Prix.
You have any time fixed in your mind?
World lead.
Okay.
That's all that's needed. What did I run last time I opened up?
Well, fair enough.
And what did I run the time before that?
Fair enough.
And what do I run the time before that? All right, then.
one more. From Bahamas, you talked about them keeping the group together. You, Kenny, Harry King.
Yeah.
I mean, now you just talked about how good Christian Freddie is now. I mean, obviously it's going to boil down to the national trials and how fast you guys go on the line. Are you still adamant that you should keep the group together, or make some tweak based on how fast the other guys coming?
I was just looking at Jamaica is making a push to try and keep as many people as possible as wild cards, and I think that's a great idea because they did form some type of chemistry, even if not a lot, it's some, and that's better than none. And we as Americans, there's so many of us that are so good, you never know who's going to be on the team. So having some people that's on the team that are going to be wild cards that were on that Bahamas team, I think is very important because they have some type of chemistry.
The lane placement controversy at the Paris Olympics sparked heated debates about fairness and favoritism. Kenny Bednarek expressed his frustration on Twitter, stating he had never seen favoritism like this on a global scale after being placed in lane 9, while Noah Lyles was assigned the more favorable lane 5. Bednarek's sentiment was echoed by Andre DeGrasse, who, after winning 100 meters bronze from lane 9 in Tokyo, admitted that the outside lane made it a tough one due to the challenges of limited visibility of competitors. The controversy highlighted the significant impact lane placement can have on a sprinter's performance and called into question the transparency of the assignment process. The highly anticipated 200 meters showdown between Noah Lyles and Erriyon Knighton took center stage at the Paris Olympics. The rivalry, which had been brewing for years, reached its climax as the two American sprinters faced off in the final. Lyles, the reigning world record holder with a blistering time of 19.31 seconds set in 2022, was the clear favorite. However, Knighton's raw talent and rapid improvement over the years made him a formidable challenger. The fact that both sprinters were assigned favorable middle lanes, with Lyles in lane 5 and Knighton in lane 6, only added to the excitement and speculation surrounding the race. The 200 meters final lived up to the hype, with Lyles and Knighton pushing each other to their limits.
No Olympic champion. The thing is that you embrace pressure so very well and come out on top. Is there a newfound respect that should be towards you?
No. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna hate anybody that doesn't like me. But all I'm gonna say is, don't downplay other people just because you don't like someone. Just go to the guy you like. But I appreciate anybody who has found respect for me. But to be honest, this crowd was amazing. This field was amazing. This is the exact field that I wanted to show up at an Olympic final. Because if I was to lose to, any of those guys in the top 3, I would have said, that's well deserved.
Talk to me about the race though and how close it was and the time, a personal best.
Yeah, it was a very close race. I'm glad I had Oblique Seville next to me because I was like, I need somebody to put that pressure on me early. I know that in a lot of races he's been like 1 or 2 lanes away from me, and he's been able to get out just in the acceleration phase, and I've just been missing it. And I was like, nah, now that you're right next to me, I'm gonna make sure that I cover that. And then after I passed him, I saw Kashane out there, and I was like, just do what I do, hit my top end speed, let it work. And to be honest, I didn't know if I had it. I leaned, but I didn't know I had it. Me and Kashane were at the end waiting for our names to come up, and I came up and I said, I'm gonna be honest, man, I think you got that one. Yeah, but my name came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing.
And you are. What do you take away from this in terms of your legacy? How do you describe it in this moment?
In this moment, I've waited a long time. I've seen Jamaicans dominate the 100 and the 200 for so long, and I remember growing up saying, when it's my turn, I'm gonna make sure that the U.S. is on top. And here it is. Here's my time and my journey, my moment, and it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Enjoy the moment, brother.
I thank you.
The victory was especially sweet for Lyles, who had faced criticism and doubts after his disappointing 100 performance earlier in the games.